everyone, it's Jen, and once again, I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of using social media to your best advantage in order to capitalize on your careers, more specifically in regards to celebrity and helping them increase their fame and their fame status. So, I believe that it is rather imperative for celebrities to establish a strong social media presence and engage with their fans regularly without divulging too much about their personal lives if they don't want to, or saying the wrong things whilst also being mindful about not posting enough content. And I want to do that by using the social penetration theory as my basis. So, as we already know, the social penetration theory involves the process of a relationship moving from superficial to intimate. The book specifically talks about having a public image, and I would love to break down that public image and that outer layer and create a communicated idea of a relationship with fans and help them with that navigation. So, social media is pretty much the basis of pop culture at this point, which we already know, in our lives and where we are in the world. And while the concept of celebrity and pop culture have been around since the first black and white film, social media has pretty much allowed it to grow rather exponentially. So, in an article that I found called Contemporary Culture by David P. Marshall, he stated that while pop culture still has all the dimensions of popular music, which has accelerated our access to celebrity culture, all the dimensions of popular music, television, and film and practices have been dramatically reflected through online culture. But because of social media, our access to all of that has just been accelerated times 10. And there's such an open ability to simply search things and search people and bring us closer, a closer social space with celebrities than ever before. And he made a very strong point, which I think I want to add as like the basis of my thesis, is that since social media is a part of our everyday existence, by default, so are celebrities. And I want to ensure that whenever someone types up your name in Google or on any social media platform, the word backlash or scandal will never have to follow. We never want to have any mistakes like that. And I've stated before, and as we all know, cancel culture is alive and it is well. And in the same breath that social media can accelerate your career, it can also end it. And I know that we can sort of forget information in the same breath, in the same instance that we learn things, but we don't always actually forget. It may not be trending or online anymore, but if celebrity has ever said something that has been offensive, it can linger in your mind. And the next time that someone mentions their name, you're going to bring up the reason that you no longer support them. And that can end up having a lasting influence or impact on how that person now thinks of that said celebrity. And that can be a reason why their next movie doesn't do as well, or their album doesn't have as many sales, and their social media followers can decline, and they're posting content about their latest project and that information isn't reaching an audience because they have done something that has upset an audience. And I want to try my best to sort of eradicate any type of mistake like that. If you're racist or you're homophobic, you need to keep that to yourself. We don't need to know. So since most people's lives and careers are very much calculated, most famous people's lives are very much calculated, I just want to take it a few steps further, like I've been saying, and just like calculate more specifically. I think that what I want to do long term, my long term goal with the program is to sort of research and develop a formulated plan that will help navigate the right steps to take in regards to social media posts. But I've realized what I don't exactly want to do is tell them exactly what to post, but rather help them decide the best way to deliver information to the public and their fans. And an important keynote for me that I have been making while I've been doing this process and research over the past few months is that, whatever my plan, my formulated plan and development is going to be, I want to keep that air of genuineness. Part of the reason for me and falling in love with the idea of celebrities and pop culture is part of the content that they post. And now that I look back on it, most of that was probably planned. And even to this day, I know that half the pictures and content that I see on Instagram and Twitter is probably ran by someone else on a team. But, it doesn't always seem that way. And I want to keep that air of, this person is being as genuine as they possibly can. And I'm really hoping to formulate this trajectory plan of self disclosure that anyone can sort of follow. And I think that the stages of the social penetration process are a really, really good foundation as a map. And it starts with the orientation stage. And that sort of goes into revealing a little bit about yourself. And then it goes into the exploratory affective exchange, which is the emergence of your personality. Then it segues into the spontaneous communication. And then finally, the stable exchange, which is the established, efficient communication, which is the end goal for anyone who might use my plan. That's what I want everyone to reach, is that established effective communication. You're posting, you're establishing a connection with your fans, you're keeping up to date, you're communicative, and that's what I really want to be the end goal for whatever my formulated plan is going to be. So, an article that I found called Fame, Facebook, and Twitter talks about how social media offers the opportunity to both enact and respond to public performances, as well as follow and interact with public figures. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want to do, is I want to enable that rapport with your fans. I want to evoke a sense of dedication from them. For example, Timothy Chalamet, whom I love so much, incredible actor. Um, Anything that he posts on social media about his latest movie, his latest film, I mean, he's an actor. I will go see. I mean, he's been around for a good couple of 7 years now, and I've only discovered him in the past 2 years, mainly because of how relevant he is on social media. He's always engaging with his fans. He's always posting things that are relevant. And because of that, I've been able to constantly see what he's doing. And I think my first interaction with him was because somebody else liked his tweet. He was staying so relevant online that I was able to see things that he was posting, especially even older things. And because of that, I'm a huge fan of him now. And I will make as much possibility as I can to see whatever he's doing now. And the same author of that article did a really interesting survey that measured fame by tracking visibility. So she tracked visibility, status, and pro-social. So visibility is how much you are seen, like magazine covers or a billboard. Status is something like first-class travel. And pro-social is how financially stable you are, if you can like support your friends or family and yourself on your income, whatever money you're making from your projects. And she used that scale and she intersectioned it with their relevancy on Twitter. And I think that I can use that scale as a claim of proof for my future plan. And it can really have an effect because it brings the question of, does this use of social media actually have an effect on the progression of your career? And I think if I use the foundation of her scale and my own research, I can find a cross path with that. Another study that I found keeps leaving me to ask myself a very important question, and I think I will end up doing my own survey of some sort on this, but do I consider politicians to be celebrities? It can sound a little unimportant the more that I say it out loud, but a lot of articles have actually used politicians in status in terms of fame and the use of social media. And I think it's really important for me to establish for myself whether I do or not include politicians in that lane, because it will determine the outcome of my plan in the end. The same trajectory that I could have for someone like Gigi Hadid, who's a supermodel, might not be the same that I'd probably have for Elizabeth Warren. Two different types of lanes. And it all comes down to the personality, the way that the person's personality will have an effect on the outcome of the plan. And I think it's important to say that I don't think that my plan is foolproof. There's always going to be outliers. Like I mentioned before, Leonardo DiCaprio is a huge outlier. He does not post anything regarding his projects. If he's in a movie, we're going to go see it regardless. But I think it's important to note that A lot of older celebrities, musicians, and actors like don't really need social media because they've been around long before and they don't need it to continue their career. So I think this plan is more formulated, might be better for someone, for people who are now starting out and need to gain more traction in their career. And I really want to show some more examples that I've been finding in the past few weeks in regards to celebrities who have just done a really good job of like highlighting what I mean when I say certain things. And I'm going to share my screen, and sort of share my screen. Sorry. I gotta share my screen and just showcase like a few celebrities who just keep doing what I keep talking about. I already mentioned her before in my other speech, but Chrissy Teigen does a really good job of maintaining that openness and visibility. She recently had a miscarriage the other day and she posted about it on Instagram. And if that doesn't have a clear indication of openness, then I don't know what is. And she received a little bit of backlash because people think that it's staged, but that's the kind of person that she is. And like I mentioned before, without social media, I don't think her career would be as popular as it is. I mean, she has a cook line, a cookware, a cookbook, and she's not a damn chef remotely at all, but she's been able to maintain selling her cook line in Target because she's maintained a really good social media presence. And I think it's very clear when you see how great her career is. I mean, if you look down, look at all these things regarding food that she's posting. And I mean, that has nothing to do with her original plan. She's a model. Another person that I think does a really cute job is Jacob Tremblay. He's a young actor. He's only like 14. He's was in this movie called Room, and it was nominated for an Oscar. And I mean, he's only 14, but like I think he does a really good job of like staying relevant on social media, and he's been able to like consistently land jobs. I mean, he's been in a movie almost every year since that movie, which was 2015, and he's literally only 14 now. I mean, he has more money than us, which says enough. And I mean, he's so cute. He's so sweet. I love this kid. I think he's going places, but I mean, he keeps posting very often. I mean, this last post was like 2 hours ago, and there's a post 7 days ago. Other post September 10th. That was 2 weeks ago. Every week there's a post. That's important. And I'm going to move on to Twitter here now. Viola Davis, beautiful award-winning actress. Right now, she's posting a lot about activism in regards to racism and stuff. And that's really important right now because that's what we need. And she's showcasing what she stands by. And that's very important, obviously. I mean, what I don't want to do is if you're racist, that's what you should keep quiet. But if you're being an activist for important issues, then keep being relevant. I mean, she's posting every single day, relatively multiple times a day, about everything that she stands for. Another actor who's relatively young, Jack Dylan Grazer. He was in It and a few other movies recently, but I think he's a very interesting kid. I think he's 16. He's in a new HBO show called We Are Who We Are, and he posts about it probably like every single day. And originally it was like really weird, but like I can't help but like want to watch the movie now. I should have shown you his Instagram page because he's been more active on Instagram, but he's very, very open about his character, and he's very active on TikTok and very active on Instagram as well. Then I'm going to show you Coldplay. Coldplay's page, they did a really good recent job of like interacting with their fans. This girl right here, she is a girl from England, and she did a recent cover of one of their songs, and she posted it, and he took it and posted it on their page. And that is like the perfect example of celebrity engagement, because that's what you want. Like, obviously she loves him even more now because he put her on his page. That's important. So that's just another example of what I mean when I say celebrity engagement with fans is really important. That rapport I mean, like that girl was probably extremely pumped that she even had like a remote interaction with the lead member of like a band that's been around since 2000, before she was even born. I was only 4. But that's just like another example of what I mean when I say like that's just so important, because now, he's garnered like a fan base of that little girl. And like that's important because that can stretch miles, miles and miles away. Um, and all of that is just what I mean. So hopefully by the end of this MAPC program, I will have formulated a really strong plan that can help future celebrities stay on a trajectory plan of capitalizing on their career using social media. And I will end with a quote that I got from our beautiful textbook that says, "In our society, openness is still a valued personal characteristic." And I think that is something that I live by and something that we need to live by and that celebrities need to live by in their interactions online that truthfully mirror that quote. So thank you for listening.